The discovery of firearms and ammunition in a barrel at Port Castries earlier this year is directly linked to the indictment of a man in the United States with trafficking firearms to Saint Lucia. On Friday, March 9, 2020, law enforcement discovered 9 handguns and 2 disassembled submachine guns hidden in a barrel. 349 rounds of ammunition were also found in the barrel. Now, months later, 27-year-old Thomas Harris Jr. of Bucks County, Pennsylvania, was arrested and indicted by the U.S. federal authorities with multiple firearms trafficking offenses to sell almost 40 guns to a buyer in Saint Lucia. Acting Commissioner of Police with responsibility for crime management in the Royal Saint Lucia Police Force, George Nicholas, says there was coordination between local authorities and U.S. officials.
These investigations emanated, or the information resulting in this investigation emanated from Saint Lucia. And sometime earlier this year, the recovery of a barrel with several firearms and ammunition were recovered at the customs unit. Another leg of the investigations continued in the U.S., and as a result, we have recently the arrest of Thomas Harris Jr. So there was collaboration between the St. Lucian authorities and the U.S. authorities in relation to that particular investigation.
The U.S. indictment alleges that Harris purchased approximately 38 firearms in 12 transactions at 2 gun shops between April 20th, 2019 and February 15th, 2020, and attempted to ship them to St. Lucia in a barrel of consumer items before it was intercepted. The accused, who uses the alias Lance Brown, actually visited St. Lucia in March 2020 and was arrested by federal authorities when he returned to the United States in July. Harris could also face charges in St. Lucia, but his extradition would be highly unlikely, given the probability of a lengthy jail sentence in the United States.
Given the information emanating from the news item in the U.S., if convicted, Thomas Harris can face up to a maximum of 8 years in prison for the offenses with which he was charged. I don't think you and I will live long enough to see an extradition order in that case.
St. Lucia authorities are continuing investigations into this matter. Law enforcement concedes that illicit firearms are entering the island at legal ports of entry. ACP Nicholas says the Customs and Excise Department is shoring up its capacity to detect these weapons.
I have recently spoken to the acting customs controller, and based on our conversations, he is putting measures in place to sort of better able them to scrutinize the barrels more effectively.
So at the time when the barrel was intercepted here, a man was taken into custody. Any of that has been charged or anything?
No one has been charged in relation to that of the St. Lucia leg of the investigation.
U.S. federal agents reportedly found concealed in household items 7 Glock semi-automatic pistols, 1 Ruger semi-automatic pistol, 2 AK-47 Patton pistols, 2 AK-47 Patton rifles, 2 AR-15 lower receivers, 2 AR-15 upper receivers, 10 high-capacity Glock ammunition magazines, 7 additional assorted ammunition magazines, and 815 rounds of ammunition in the barrel bound for St. Lucia, the shipping company in the United States. Winston Springer Jr., HTS News Force.